next animal that we're going to meet is a beautiful camel. And this is how we do a beautiful camel. We put our long neck into the air and we make sure that we're swaying back and forth to show our beauty. The next animal that we have is a mischievous monkey. And this is how we do a monkey. Animal that we have is a chattering squirrel. And this is how we do a chattering squirrel. The first time we mention any of these animals, we want you to join in and be the tiger, or the squirrel, or the monkey, or the beautiful camel. Can all of you help me with that? Thank you. So, the name of the next story is The Beautiful Camel. One night in the same forest, but far on the other side, was very dark and very quiet. Not a creature was stirring. Even the wind had stopped breathing. And not a leaf was falling, and not a blade of grass was moving. All the creatures were very quiet, but the quietest of all was the tiger. The tiger was lying at the foot of a tree by the side of a road that divided the forest in half. Now, it would have been very hard to see the tiger because he was hidden by leaves and flowers and vines. But he was also hidden by darkness. But it was just this time that it was between night and day, and the night was ending and the day was about to begin, and suddenly the first glimmer of light trembled in the sky. And the forest and the sky and even the air began to turn blue. Just then, on the road that divided the forest in half, far, far up that road, between the sky and the ground, something was moving. Now, it looked like this tiger, like he was sleeping, but one eye was open, just the tiniest crack. And he was thinking and watching. And on the horizon there was this thing that was moving, and the tiger was watching as it drew nearer and nearer, and the sky was getting bluer and bluer, and the light on the road had turned pink. Then the tiger could see what the thing was. It was a beautiful camel.
You know his girlfriend can't be far.
It had soft brown eyes, and she was just taking her morning walk. And it walked slowly and gracefully, with its head way up in the air. Her nose smelled the early morning sweetness, and her eyes took in the blue and pink colors of the sky. And the tiger thought, as soon as this beautiful camel comes to where the shadow of the tree falls across the road, I'm going to pounce on her. And all the while, the beautiful camel walked gracefully down the road, turning her pretty head this way and that, while the sky grew brighter and brighter. But the tiger was not the only one who saw the camel walking down the road. Way up in the tree, on a branch directly over the tiger, sat a little monkey. And he knew what the tiger was thinking about. So he very quietly reached for a coconut and held it up in the air in his hands, and he said to himself, just as soon as the tiger is about to pounce on the camel, I'm going to drop the coconut on his head. And all the while, the beautiful camel walked gracefully down the road, turning her pretty head this way and that, while the sky got brighter and brighter. But the tiger and the monkey were not the only ones who saw the beautiful camel. On the same tree, was a little squirrel. And this little squirrel was very quiet. And it had bright little eyes that could see everything that was going on. And the little squirrel said to himself, as soon as the monkey is ready to drop the coconut on the tiger's head, I'm going to bite his tail. And all the while, the beautiful camel walked gracefully down the road, turning her pretty head this way and that, while the sky grew brighter and brighter. Meanwhile, as the camel was getting nearer and nearer, the sun was getting warmer and warmer. And just as the camel almost reached the shadow of the tree, the tiger and the monkey and the squirrel were all ready. And suddenly the camel stopped and stretched out her pretty neck all the way up to the sky and opened up her mouth and let out an awful yawn. And said in an ordinary, sweet voice, I think I'll go back home. The tiger was so flabbergasted that he didn't pounce on the camel, and the monkey didn't drop his coconut, and the squirrel certainly didn't bite anyone's tail. And they did all these things in the same instance. And just for a second, no one said anything. And not a sound was heard. But then, the squirrel began to chatter. And the monkey began to jump up and down. And the tiger roared with glee. And the beautiful camel just walked around and walked back the way she had come. The tiger slinked back away into the deep forest. The monkey swung away from branch to branch, and the squirrel scurried up a tree, and the sun shone like brass